Hey guys, well today we're going to go over a Voodoo tactical pack. And if you guys have been following me for a little while, you know that I tried an improved Matrix pack from Voodoo Tactical last year. And was pretty disappointed in it, to say the least. I had issues with the stitching and a few other things after just a couple trips out there. Well, through the grapevine of YouTube, representative from Voodoo Tactical got a hold of me and kind of wanted to make it right. Now, I'd already returned the pack, and I'd already ordered the Kelty Strike 23, I'll put a link up there, to replace it. So, talking to him, he didn't really want to give me another pack of that same size, but he wanted to make it right and send me a pack, and so he sent me this little bit smaller, sort of, you know, very general 3-day assault pack is usually the generic term for something like this. And I'll give you some close-ups because even though this was meant as a replacement for what I thought was a poorly put together pack, this one has quite a few sewing issues. So no failures, just a lot of messy threads. As I kind of ranted on about in my previous video, I've made a lot of nylon gear with what limiting sewing machines and things that I have. And it really is reminiscent of something I would make myself. I'm not able with my technology to finish threads as cleanly, tack over certain things because of the, the powerful serger machines that they use in factories are much more adaptable for, going through heavy material. But I'm going to go over the features of this pack, and then what I'm going to do is give it to a friend locally here. And sorry for the plane noise. I thought I found a nice quiet area in the middle of nowhere, but the planes are still finding me. So there's a couple strange features of this pack that we'll just start off at the top and go over the features. So starting off with the small pocket, it's about a 4x6 size pouch. There is some MOLLE, webbing on the front. There's no sewing on here, so you can get all the way through on the sides. It's strange that they use this hook and loop field here because I couldn't actually get a patch to stick there because of the MOLLE webbing. So it's kind of a poor design on that part. You can see the strings are kind of coming off. Now, like I said, I had no failures, but this pack had all the same sort of sewing issues of the lesser quality packs that we were kind of ranting about before. Again, it uses that plastic backed sort of Cordura material. Really nice big zippers. Had no issues with the zippers. I like the fact that they're the large style. They do not say YKK on them because after my video and talking to the rep, they took that verbiage off. So I believe, I have not checked, but they said they were going to discontinue referring to them as a YKK zipper because there was no stamp on them. Supposedly they were an actual YKK zippers, one of their lower end productions that they were getting, but because there was no way to prove it, that they were going to stop using that verbiage. There is the Y strap, similar like the Maxpedition Kodak. It is adjustable, but this kind of is a lot of extra webbing. So if you find a good length, I would trim this off and tack it down or tape it or something. Those kind of things bother me when I use this in sort of mountain biking or on the motorcycle. That extra webbing just annoys me. Again, big sort of MOLLE field. It's not necessarily an actual PALS field because this is just webbing and it's spaced off a little bit strange. Again, the big webbing behind it is not sewn through, so you can use that as more secure attachment points. I'm not sure why that is, but I know it adds a lot of weight, all that extra webbing. But in this pouch, again, they have all the same big zippers. Make sure you can see that on there. It's just like an admin pouch. Pens, pencils, things like that. Going into the middle section, there's a smaller organizing mesh here and a pouch. And then nothing on the other side. The size of this pack is interesting. Even my Kodak Maxpedition is bigger, wider than this, that I can put a laptop in. And I can't get a laptop in this one. The compression buckles on the side, the webbing, they work, but they're not an actual buckle. They're a cinch buckle, they're not like an actual buckle. and I wish they were actually normal buckles so you could undo it and get in easier. It's also in kind of a strange place halfway down the pack. There are repeating cinch straps on the bottom for adding, you know, sleeping pad or something like that. I didn't find this to really be able to hold, you know, a good solid overnight gear. You know, maybe a summertime overnight would be fine, but not with any, you know, I happen to have a lot of small, kind of lightweight gear. I think the average person would struggle to get an overnight stay out of this. There is some strange little webbing on the side for more attachment points. The nice thing about the main pack is it comes all the way down to the bottom. So when you undo this, it's that really nice hinge style pack. So nice big clamshell design so you can access everything. There is a mesh pocket on this side, fairly good size, and there's a zippered pouch that follows the back for hydration bladder, or sometimes I'll put sharp tools like a saw or something like that back there. Kind of disappointed with how big it gets. But you know, that's the size of the pack. That's not really the pack's fault itself, but I struggled to find usefulness for the pack because of that size. Now, like I said, the Maxpedition, I'll put some photographs of the size comparison against the Kodak. I still find myself going to that Kodak because it's just easier to use than this thing. Again, the shoulder straps. Now, when I talked to Jason, he relayed to me that the biggest complaint they got from this pack was the shoulder straps are too wide. And I absolutely agree. The funny thing is, if you've gotten that complaint, you know, why not fix that? Was kind of my thought. I don't see the wider straps being advantageous to holding a heavier load because the pack isn't big enough to put that load in there. There is some D-rings for attachments. Again, the chest strap there's no actual way to keep it in that section. I can move it way up here, but then it's too high. Move it down here, and then it's way too low, but there's no micro adjustment on the chest strap. Quick release buckles. Again, kind of a hokey thing. There was a waist strap to this pack. I don't have it on there. I didn't find it useful. I actually have a carabiner on this side. The other side of the pack does have a double webbing of that same webbing molly material. But so we're going to pass this on to somebody else. There's no real, you know, frame sheet in this for structure. It's just foam. So any super heavy things, again, added weight for I don't know what. These, you know, D-rings up here. There is a compartment back here if you want to use that for your bladder. I found it when I put it in there, it kind of bulged this out into a round shape and was kind of uncomfortable if you didn't have a jacket or anything on. The straps are a little ridiculous. Even with all my motorcycle gear on, they were still kind of too bulky and wide and obnoxious. And again, if they've been getting that complaint, I'm not sure why they picked it. So, you know, the pack has not failed. So for anybody that's looking at the Voodoo Tactical and the Condors and things like that, that, you know, have been worried about, you know, the stitching, as long as it's immediately not coming off, you know, I didn't have any issues with it, but that's just little things. Like this is not square on here. You know, it's sewn at an angle, which is kind of strange. It looks like I sewed it together, but you know, it has held up. You know, this has been just about a year. I think the first time you guys saw this was the video I called like boot break-in or something. I was out hiking trying to break in my boots and soak them in the creek, and I had this pack, so I'll put that link up there. Alright guys, B signing off here. Like I said, I'm going to give this to a friend of mine. He's going to use it as a daily bag. I just don't have that EDC capability really here in a rural environment like I did in the city to thoroughly test it every day like I did the Kodak Maxpedition. So I'm going to give it to basically another gear reviewer locally here and kind of get his feedback. Maybe 6 months and a year from now, maybe we'll get together or something like that.